The 99%.
Hell yeah!
I'm a Somerville resident and a co-founder of Save Our Somerville, and I'm also an Iraq war veteran. I'm here today because the people on Wall Street don't understand what a slap in the face it is to take off the uniform, expecting the world to be open to you, and then struggle from week to week to meet the basic needs of life. I might be able to suck it up and accept that everyone is struggling. But then I think about the $11 trillion given to people who provide no service to this country. I also know from my 2 tours in Iraq what true government waste is. We spent $4 trillion in Iraq and Afghanistan, and most of that went not to the troops, but to the richest 1% of this country. I've witnessed firsthand how contractors with political connections were given a blank check to spend as they please. I saw companies like Halliburton and KBR run up the bill on food, overcharging for every plate. I saw mercenaries from Blackwater get paid millions of dollars to do the same exact work that soldiers do, minus their obligation to the Geneva Convention. Whoa. And I saw civilians paid to swipe ID cards, issue laundry, and supervise Iraqis toiling in the heat for pennies while they made 6 figures, without taxes, mind you. No tax dollars there. With all that money being tossed around, you would think touching veterans' education benefits would be blasphemous. But instead, the opposite happens. I came home expecting the new GI Bill to put me through college and give me a monthly stipend for basic cost of living. But at the beginning of every semester, I have to wonder if my check's going to come on time. I've been 2 months without a check. I have $3.77 in the bank.
Rent.
Rent. It's like, okay, rent. How are you going to pay rent?
You can crash on my couch.
You don't even know if your check's
I got you.
on time. And then, so I've been busting tables, I've been bouncing at clubs, doing anything it takes just to put food on my table when I'm supposed to get like $2 grand a month just to survive. And it's been 2 months. It's like, who lives like that? You know, these people at Wall Street, they wouldn't put up with not getting paid for 2 months. They give themselves bonuses after they exploit us.
Tell him!
So on top of that, how am I going to pay rent? So on top of that, the rent is too damn high in Somerville.
Too damn high!
Rent and home ownership have skyrocketed over the past decade. Meanwhile, unemployment and poverty have gone up in Somerville. And meanwhile, I read a study recently that said you need at least $60,000 to have a 2-family home in Somerville and survive. $60,000. The median income of Somerville residents is $48,000. How does that add up? How are people surviving? It's like, this is ridiculous what's going on here. So then on top of that, with the Republicans and their impotent consent for the Democrats, they made cuts to the GI Bill that takes money away from me while I'm not taking classes. I take classes summer, spring, fall. I take it year-round, and I don't take breaks. But my school takes breaks. So I can't go to school year-round because they're not open. So I'm expected to now find a job every few weeks out of a year just to make ends meet. It's like, I know people who say we can't even get jobs. So how, it's just ridiculous. You know how it is. So then, on top of that, I go to a private school. I go to Tufts University over here. You guys won't be cheering when your tuition bill comes. But once again, the House and the Senate, with President Obama's signature, all consented to put caps on how much money they give to college, private schools. And Tufts is one of the most expensive schools in the country. Yes. Of course, they tell me this 2 years after I'm in school, so that they could just make it a bigger inconvenience, I guess. What's that? Yeah, they like to exploit us. They love it. So then, as a final insult, the other day I got in the mail a letter that informed me that after I got out of active duty in 2008, I joined the reserves to make sure I didn't do a 3rd deployment in Iraq. And I got this letter, and it said to me that because I was in the reserves and I collected disability for injuries sustained in the military, I was overpaid. So now I owe them money. I haven't had a check in 2 months, and they're telling me that I owe them money. So it's funny, because never once in my service was I allowed to change the terms of my agreement. But they feel they can change the rules whenever it's convenient. Isn't it amazing that they can take their sweet time to give me what I'm owed, but the second I owe them money for a mistake they created, you better pay up fast. Does this sound familiar to anybody here?
Oh yeah.
This is exactly what the banks are doing to all of us in this country. Exploiting every single one of us. Military, civilian, everybody is falling under the same boat. College students, black, white, everybody is feeling the crunch from a mistake they made.
Make them pay.
Exactly. Make them pay. They got money, don't they? They're banks. Adjustable rate mortgages, credit default swaps, subprime lending, service fees. I forgot the service part of that. The service fee increases, these are all code words the 1% uses to describe the fleecing of this nation. They're like drug pushers, hooking average people with the promise of the American dream and then making them dependent on the system for survival. Just like any true pusher, they despise the people they work for. And they don't give a damn about their customers in the least. And we all can see that. At a young age, I had a severe distrust of banks. It must have just been inherent in me. I've always used a small bank. I've avoided debt my entire life. I always shredded the credit cards they sent you the moment you turned 18, as if having debt is a rite of passage in America. I refuse to take out loans, even though college practically forces it on you. I believe in not spending more money than you have, plain and simple. But the banks, they don't believe in that policy. Because of this, banks are actually less likely to help me. They claim they want a responsible lender, but their entire system is based around encouraging irresponsible spending. Because they don't care if you can't pay them back. If you can't, they take your house, they take your possessions, and they'll leave you bankrupt. And by the way, being bankrupt means something to us. They walk away from it. They get a bailout. We're not getting bailed out around here. Because they created an economy that thrives on pushing debt on people seeking the American dream, selling that debt to unknowing and uncaring third parties, and then betting against the very same bad loans they gave out. Going through the banks is like betting against Vegas. They always win and you always lose. But at least in Vegas, they give you a drink for your troubles. We are all victims of the bank's mistakes. They say we won't work, but the banks in this country make money off the work of others. They don't produce anything. They merely convince others to give them money and invest it elsewhere. They are the biggest welfare queens in this country. Yes. They don't know what it is to struggle. They don't know the taste of desperation. And I lost my place. And they're the ones who make millions doing absolutely nothing for this country. You are the deadbeat, not us. So this to me is the core of what the 99% is about. I hear people in the media and people I know criticize this movement as lacking clear objectives. They blame the victims of this crisis for a problem directly caused by the banks. They say we're too lazy to help ourselves. But the people I know, we're not seeking a bailout. Our objectives are clear. We want a job, we want a home, and we want the people who took that away from us to be held accountable for their actions. I think a few years ago, this used to be called the American Dream. And have a home and have a job and contribute to society. That's what we want. But and they're taking that away from us. All right, I'll just wrap up by saying, people say that we're the lazy ones. I see everybody here. I see hardworking people everywhere I go. I see people struggling to make ends meet in this country, and then they have the nerve, who haven't done a day of work in their life, and are exploiting us every day to walk all over us, to take our homes, take our houses, take our jobs. And they want to say that we just gotta lay back and take it. So we're here, we got the revolution going on, in case we all forgot, Boston's where this all began. So I want to quote our founding fathers and say that we're survivors. I'm gonna survive no matter what. And if someone's gonna get in my way of survival, you got trouble. And I got words from our founding fathers, don't tread on me. Unite! about to introduce our new speaker, next speaker. But first, I just want to point out some numbers that Matt talked about. So, we're talking about lowballing now. $9 trillion for the bailout, another $4 trillion for the war in Iraq and Afghanistan, thank God it's over, another $3 trillion in the efforts to revive the economy. We're talking a total of $16 trillion tax dollars of your and my money that's gone to the banks. But we're here, we're standing up about it, we're speaking about it.